In 1995, one night I was soaping myself in the shower and I felt a lump in my right groin, which I thought hadn't been there the night before. Perhaps it had, who knows? And I thought, well, that's not good. So the next day I found a doctor. You know, men sometimes don't go to doctors. So I didn't have a doctor, but I found one. He took a look at it and he said, well, what is that scar on your ankle? Well, I said, that's a wart that in 1988 was removed, and they sent the tissue to laboratories, 3 of them. And they all came back that there was some plastic cells, but had not turned into a melanoma. He said, well, I don't know about that. And sure enough, a biopsy demonstrated that I had melanoma in at least one of my lymph nodes. So I said, what should I do now? He said, I want you to go out to the National Cancer Institute and consult Dr. Stephen Rosenberg, the chief surgeon. He is an expert on melanoma, and he'll see you. Of course, as you know, that's not a hospital or something, but let's just get his opinion. So I did, and met Dr. Rosenberg, and he looked at me, and I'd brought the biopsy report, and I brought a scan, which showed no change in anything at that time. And he sat down, he said, you know, I think you have a good chance of living a long, healthy life. And I blurted out, I don't believe you. I didn't know anything about melanoma except what the layman might know, but I'd heard it was a so-called bad actor, one of these cancers that doesn't follow a straight line in progress. It can act up, and I'd heard it was very dangerous. Of course, most cancers are very dangerous. So I went home and I said to my wife, I think we have about 3 months. Made a self-diagnosis. I thought Dr. Rosenberg was a nice man, but maybe he didn't know what he was talking about. Well, I said to him at the time, well, what do I do now? He said, you have to have it removed. I said, where should I go, Dr. Rosenberg? And he said, well, we can do it here because your melanoma fits a protocol that we have running at the moment, and you are perfectly eligible and a candidate to be in the protocol, and we will then take a look at it and take care of it. I kind of looked at him and I said, Dr. Rosenberg, if we bend any rules to get me in this protocol, never mind about the cancer, my colleagues in the press corps will kill us both. He kind of smiled. I did get in the protocol, and I was operated on at the National Cancer Institute. After 3 days, where all of the laboratory work was done from the tissue from the operation, the door opened, Dr. Rosenberg came in the room, and he said, it couldn't be better. It couldn't be better. Only one lymph node involved, and the margins appear to be clear around that one. Well, I said, doctor, it could be better if I had no cancer at all. He said, well, yes, I know. And I bring this up because one of the lessons that I'd like to pass on to people is we want optimistic doctors. Now, we want honest doctors. You can't blow smoke. But if you can be optimistic and give a patient who suddenly has what they think may be a death sentence some hope that's realistic, it does a wonderful bit of good. I once talked to a melanoma specialist who said to me, you know, if a patient asks me, am I going to live, doctor? I might look at the field, the statistics, and say, well, you have about a 26% chance. And would devastate that person, 26%. You get better odds in Las Vegas than that. But if I can say, honestly, you know, I know people who have had exactly what you have and are alive and healthy today, they'll say, God bless you, doctor. So I was very happy when Dr. Rosenberg said it couldn't be better. What do you do? What do you do? All right, so I had the melanoma lymph node removed. Had it spread? Not apparently, but you don't know. Because at that time, the statistics showed that I had about a 55% chance of seeing it again. And that was stage 3, and stage 4 would be in the soft organs. And that, of course, metastases, cancer, melanoma, very, very dangerous. So I said, doctor, I've looked at the book, which you helped author, and it says I have about a 55% chance of seeing it again. He said, but each day that goes by, your chances get better and better. I thought, okay, get out of here. You know. But it was a wonderful experience to be told that first, I think you have a chance of, later I realized he didn't say great chance, he just said chance of leading a long, healthy life. And second, it couldn't be better at that point. So the next thing I asked was, what do I do now? He said, well, you go home. I said, wait a moment, I've been reading now. I'm suddenly becoming a melanoma expert, and there are these vaccines out there. We're not talking about quacks. We're not talking about crabiazin or apricot pits or taking a bed sheet and flashing it at the aurora borealis to cure yourself. We're talking about doctors of merit who believe they have a vaccine that will retard the reoccurrence. He said, I know it, but none of them have been double-blind tested, trialed. We don't know. I said, okay, so we don't know. Why not take it anyway? And, it might be okay. We don't know. He said, but we don't know whether they're harmful. I said, you pure scientists. I mean, this is ridiculous. But I took his advice. I went home, and I've been very fortunate. It's almost 20 years now, as we speak, from the moment that I met Stephen Rosenberg and was diagnosed with a melanoma tumor in my right groin, and there has been no recurrence.